Odessa High head coach Danny Servance. What the Broncos will try to do to get back to 500, 2-2 on the year. We'll also turn our attention to the NFL. The Cowboys 2-0, dealing with some injuries though, including wide receiver Michael Gallup. Aaron Reynolds will join Mickey Spagnola, our Cowboys insider, and get his take on who is the most likely candidate to fill in for Gallup while he's absent. And finally, another injury update on Alan Bowman, the quarterback for Texas Tech. All that and more coming up at 6.
Very cool. Here's the last look at that 7-day forecast with some warm temperatures, especially tomorrow and Thursday. 96 degrees are high tomorrow afternoon, 93 on Thursday. We've got a little bit of rain setting up at the higher elevation. Stay tuned at 6 p.m. and I'll take a deeper dive into those showers and what's going on out that way. We can expect more showers at the higher elevations tomorrow, even Thursday, but by Friday evening, those rain chances spill over into the basin, including Odessa Midland. Pretty good chance Friday night, very good chance Saturday afternoon, and a small chance on Sunday afternoon as well. And that rain will help keep our temperatures down to 87 degrees by Saturday, but aside from that, we're in the low 90s.
All right, we'll see you back here at 6 for more on the fire that destroyed homes and cars in Odessa.
World News starts right now.
Tonight, the tropical storm slamming Texas and the Gulf right now, and the hurricane stronger in the east. Tonight, the system just upgraded. Now, Tropical Storm Imelda hitting Galveston at this hour. The warning of life-threatening flooding. In the east, the hurricane off Bermuda now strengthening at this hour. The concern in the east. And now a third system headed toward the U.S. It is early. Ginger Z tracking all three. Also tonight, authorities say a disturbing high school shooting plot. A teenage girl accused of threatening to, quote, shoot 400 people for fun. What they say they found. The Major League All-Star pitcher under arrest tonight, accused of sexual assault. Authorities say the alleged victim was 13 when he met her. We have breaking news tonight in New York. The emergency ban on sales of flavored e-cigarettes, as we now learn of a 7th death linked to vaping. The massive oil attack and U.S. investigators tonight on the ground in Saudi Arabia. Martha Raddatz standing by. The fireworks on the Hill tonight. President Trump's former campaign manager following instructions from the White House. The angry reaction. In New York City, officers attack the shootout when they try to answer a domestic call. We are one-on-one with Alex Trebek tonight. He reveals a new setback, and what he says keeps him going. And we celebrate the remarkable life and career of our Cokie Roberts, the journalist, commentator, and historian. And tonight, the interview we found, Cokie in her own words, on how she would like to be remembered.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. It is great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. And we begin tonight with the tropical storm slamming Texas and the Gulf right now, and the hurricane strengthening off the East Coast. And now a third system we're watching at this hour. Look at the map tonight. Tropical storm Imelda just upgraded, slamming ashore in Galveston and elsewhere at this hour. And there's Hurricane Humberto gaining strength tonight as well, with concern over dangerous rip currents. And we're still in the time of the year. Look out there. Now a new tropical depression forming headed toward the U.S. This is early, but it could be a hurricane by Friday. Images coming in tonight, strong winds coming ashore and battering Galveston and kicking up fierce waves in the Gulf. Flash flood watches tonight and for the next several days, and so we want to get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, who's been tracking this all afternoon. And Ginger, first off, this tropical storm.
Yes, Tropical Storm Imelda. It was named and made landfall within an hour this afternoon, David, and it's going to be aggressive that way in the way of rain. We knew there was a lot of rain coming with it, more than 4 inches already reported in Galveston, just north of Galveston. So now we're going to be watching from Beaumont over into Louisiana, back to Bay City. Texas City could see up to a foot or more of rain in the next 36 hours. Let's move to the Atlantic now, because we've got Hurricane Humberto, a Cat 2 hurricane, should be a major hurricane by tomorrow. As it passes north of Bermuda, they are in hurricane warning. They shouldn't have direct impact, but huge surf, some major rains, and don't forget 6 to 11 foot waves here from North Carolina to Florida. And finally, that tropical depression, David, that you mentioned, it does look like the projection goes toward the United States. Most of the models turning it away, but it's far too early to let our guard down right now.
For sure, it is still September. All right, Ginger, thank you. We're going to turn next tonight to the teenage girl accused of a disturbing high school shooting plot, threatening to, quote, shoot shoot 400 people for fun, allegedly showing a coworker a video of herself shooting an AK-47. That coworker, alarmed by the video, then telling their boss. And when police visited the girl's home, they found an AK-47, a shotgun, and ammunition. Tonight, she's now under arrest. And here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
Oklahoma authorities tonight say that this young woman, seen here in Jailhouse Orange, is accused of threatening to gun down students at her old high school in McAlester, Oklahoma. 18-year-old Alexis Wilson dropped out of the school when she was in the 9th grade, and investigators say she was planning to return and was, quote, going to shoot 400 people for fun.
I'm elated that right now that the threat has been eliminated.
When police searched her home, they found these: a newly purchased AK-47, 6 magazines to go with, and a 12-gauge shotgun. Her co-workers at this pizza place were the ones who called authorities. Police say she shared with another waitress pictures and videos of herself shooting with the assault rifle.
We do not want any of our schools getting shot up, as nobody does. And so we're going to do, everything that we can to prevent this.
She is pleading not guilty, and when she was arrested, police say she told them she really wasn't serious. But they also say she told them that she used to be suicidal and borderline homicidal to the people of McAlester High School because she was bullied.
And Steve Osunsami with us live tonight. And Steve, you're now learning tonight of yet another arrest of a high school student threatening to, quote, shoot up a school.
Yes, David, a 16-year-old from Fresno High School in California is under arrest tonight after a post he made to Instagram. Over the weekend, 3 other California teenagers were arrested for something similar. In each of these cases, people called in information to police because they were concerned. David?
Which they need to keep doing. All right, Steve, thank you. Tonight, a Major League All-Star pitcher is under arrest, accused of sexual assault with a minor. Authorities say she was just 13 when he met her. Police say the Pittsburgh Pirates' Felipe Vasquez first made contact with the girl 2 years ago. Their relationship, authorities say, in person and online. And ABC's Victor Akendo on the charges tonight in Pennsylvania and Florida.
Tonight, 2-time All-Star Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Felipe Vasquez behind bars, accused of sexually assaulting a child. Police arresting the 28-year-old reliever this morning, charging him with several crimes, including solicitation of a child. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement began investigating allegations Vasquez had a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old girl who's now 15, after the child's mother said she found troubling text messages and let the ballplayer know her daughter was a minor. Authorities say Vasquez first met the alleged victim at a stadium in Pennsylvania, and the girl found him on social media, where police say it escalated from there, adding Vasquez tried to perform sex acts with her inside a car and texted the victim an explicit video. Officers were able to identify Vasquez by his tattoos.
These allegations are very, very serious. The term that was used earlier is heinous.
The league placed Vasquez on administrative leave. A judge denying him bail late today. More charges could be filed. David?
Victor Akendo with us tonight. Victor, thank you. We are following a breaking headline involving vaping tonight. New York State just approving an emergency ban on sales of most flavored e-cigarettes. And it comes as we learn tonight of yet a 7th death now linked to vaping. Let's go right to ABC's Lindsay Davis with us here in New York. And we know this move in New York State comes after Michigan's governor did something very similar. But this ban in New York State will actually take effect first.
And that's right, David. New York now becomes the first state to ban the sale of flavored e-cigarettes. The emergency ban goes into effect immediately and would cover all flavored e-cigarettes and vaping products with the exception of menthol and tobacco flavors. The CDC is investigating a surge in lung illnesses linked to vaping. 7 deaths across 36 states and 380 cases of lung illness reported. Now here in New York, stores will have 2 weeks to get those products off the shelves. Today, New York's governor said the state is not waiting for the federal government to act.
All right, we'll stay on this, Lindsay. Thank you. Next tonight, the search for answers, that massive attack on oil facilities in Saudi Arabia. U.S. investigators are now on the ground there tonight, and what we're learning. Here's ABC's Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz now.
Tonight, a U.S. team on the ground in Saudi Arabia gathering what a U.S. official calls compelling forensic evidence from the remnants of the some 20 drones and nearly a dozen cruise missiles. An official says they have recovered a nearly fully intact cruise missile, and they're closely examining this image from Saudi social media. It appears to be missile wreckage.
They'll take things like flight control services and match them to known Iranian pictures of the cruise missiles they build. They'll look at the circuit boards. Are they built in Iran? Do we know they're built in Iran?
A senior administration official tells ABC they believe the weapons were fired from Iran. President Trump, who days ago called the U.S. locked and loaded, says he's not looking for war.
They would like to make a deal. I know they'd like to make a deal, but at some point it will work out.
But Iran's supreme leader saying today there will be no negotiations at any level with the United States. Since President Trump pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal, there have been more attacks than ever and major ones, and Iran is now back on the path to increasing its nuclear capabilities. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo now headed to Saudi to coordinate any response to this latest attack. David?
Martha Raddatz following this again tonight. Martha, thank you. Next to the fireworks on Capitol Hill as the House Judiciary Committee probes possible obstruction of justice by the White House. Today, former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski testifying in public, and Lewandowski following specific instructions from the White House, and it infuriated members of Congress. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas tonight.
Before the cameras, President Trump's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, clashing with House Democrats.
This is a House judiciary, not a House party.
You are here to participate in a continuing cover-up.
Flat out refusing to answer questions about his dealings with the president, referring to this letter from the White House, restricting the scope of his testimony, citing executive privilege.
How many times did he direct you to deliver a message to a member of his cabinet?
The White House has directed not disclose or his advisors to protect executive branch confidentiality.
You're not going to stonewall me in my questioning.
But that did not stop House Judiciary Democrats from pressing to learn more about a key scene in the Mueller report regarding potential obstruction of justice. President Trump calling Lewandowski into the Oval Office and dictating a message for delivery to Jeff Sessions. The goal, to get the then Attorney General to limit the special counsel's investigation. Lewandowski confirming the president made that request.
Didn't you think it was a little strange that the president would sit down with you one-on-one and ask you to do something that you knew was against the law?
I didn't think the president asked me to do anything illegal.
David, during a break from the hearing, Lewandowski took time to promote a PAC, encouraging him to make a possible Senate run in New Hampshire. David?
Pierre Thomas with us live on the Hill tonight. Pierre, thank you. We're going to turn now to the sad news we first delivered earlier today here. Our longtime colleague and friend Cokie Roberts has passed away at the age of 75. Tonight she's being celebrated by presidents and first ladies, by so many of us in journalism. She was a pioneer. But we all know the role Cokie treasured most, the role of mother and grandmother. She had a brilliant mind matched only by her kindness, her grace, and of course, her wit. Born into a political family in Louisiana, her full name was Mary Martha Corinne Morrison Claiborne Boggs. But her brother could not pronounce her name. To him, she was Cokie. And that's who she was to the rest of us, too.
Oh, thank you for having me, and please call me Cokie.
Well, I will, but I'm from the South, too, so you know how that goes.
Cokie Roberts' father was longtime Congressman Hale Boggs, at one point the majority leader. He was killed in a plane crash, and his wife, Lindy Boggs, would win his seat. Together, Cokie's parents would represent the people of New Orleans in Congress for nearly 50 years. Cokie grew up in the South, but she was also a young witness to history at our nation's capital. It left an impression on her how much the women were really doing.
We watched them run the political conventions, their husbands' offices, their campaigns.
Cokie did consider politics as a young woman, but instead she decided to report on it, to witness it. A student at Wellesley, she met her future husband, Stephen Roberts, at a political meeting in 1962. He was studying at Harvard, a budding journalist himself. They would marry in 1966, and President Lyndon Johnson famously attended their wedding. Cokie's mother, Lindy, actually cooking food for the crowd of 1,500. Along the way, Cokie would remember that first job, anchoring a public affairs program in Washington. She was just 21. It was called Meeting of the Minds.
It was essentially reporting and then writing very brief little stories, and I loved it.
She would become a political commentator for NPR, and in 1988, she would join ABC News.
We're following two major stories tonight.
She would contribute to ABC's This Week, and then co-anchor the program with Sam Donaldson.
What is your definition of womanizing, Sam?
Most women know it when they see it, Senator.
And through the years, every big political night, Koki was there too. Her interviews with presidents and first ladies. Koki was an author and historian too, writing more than a half-dozen books, so often telling the untold contributions of women in America. And she wrote a book called We Are Our Mother's Daughters. And she said this not so long ago.
What has been the best piece of advice someone has given you regarding...
Listen to your mother.
Well, that worked out well.
Koki would win Emmys. She was named a living legend by the Library of Congress. She was cited one of the 50 greatest women in the history of broadcasting. But it was never the awards or the attention. It was family. Her 2 children, Rebecca and Lee, her 6 grandchildren, and her husband of more than 50 years, Stephen. Tonight, the family saying, we will miss Koki beyond measure, both for her contributions and for her love and kindness. Former President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama calling Koki a role model to young women at a time when the profession was still dominated by men, a constant over 40 years of a changing world. President George W. Bush and former First Lady Laura Bush writing, she covered us for decades as a talented, tough, and fair reporter. We respected her drive and appreciated her humor. She became a friend. And tonight, Speaker Nancy Pelosi calling her a trailblazer who forever transformed the role of women in the newsroom. And Save the Children tonight, remembering a tireless champion for children. But to all of us here at ABC News, she was Koki. She made us all better. Her brilliant mind, her sharp wit, but above all, it was her kindness. So true. Later tonight, hear the interview we found today, Koki in her own words on mothers and their daughters and how she would like to be remembered. Words we now all treasure, and we're going to share them with you a little later here. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Tuesday. The NYPD officers attacked here in New York City. The shootout when police answer a domestic call. A police body cam image tonight showing the suspect with the gun in his hand. Also had 4 hunters injured in 2 separate bear attacks just hours apart. And we are one-on-one with Alex Trebek tonight. He's revealing a new setback, his candor right here, and what he says keeps him going. His bravery. A lot more news ahead here. Stay tuned.
Do you remember that day? That day you met your hero?
Miss Bird, do you think I could be a champion like you?
Of course you can. And you can call me Sue.
Jibber jabber coming through. Salutations, famous female of orange round ball.
Would you like an autograph?
Excuse me.
Is that paper mache?
It's you.
Jibber jabber ruins everything.
Is it?
I am confused. At Symetra Life Insurance Company, we're cutting through it to help you choose the retirement benefits and life products that work best for you.
I had a heart problem. I was told to begin my aspirin regimen. I just didn't listen until I almost lost my life. My doctors, again, ordered me to take aspirin, and I do.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Listen to the doctor. Take it seriously.
At ProPlan, we believe nutrition is full of possibilities to improve your pet's life. We're redefining what nutrition can do, because the possibility of a longer life and a healthy life is the greatest possibility of all. Purina ProPlan, nutrition that performs.
I'm working to make each day a little sweeter.
ADP simplifies HR, benefits, and payroll for Magnolia Bakery, so employees like Sarah can achieve what they're working for.
Smoking causes my throat cancer. But walking every day makes me feel like myself again. Well, almost.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Yeah, we're going to need 500 more units pronto.
We don't have that kind of money right now, Carl.
You will in 10 minutes. That's how long it will take you to get funding through Cabbage. I know. I'm 10 minutes in the future spokes guy.
What's happening?
And I'm 10 days in the future spokes guy. That Cabbage funding helped you win the Gundelfinger account. Congratulations.
What's a Gundelfinger?
And I'm from 10 years in the future.
Cabbage. Business funding in as little as 10 minutes.
What'd I miss?
Tonight here we are one-on-one with Alex Trebek. He has been brave and open since the start in his battle with cancer. And this evening he shares a setback with our TJ Holmes and what keeps him going on Jeopardy.
From the beginning, Alex Trebek has taken his stage 4 pancreatic cancer diagnosis with grit and optimism.
I'm going to fight this, and I'm going to keep working.
And now the beloved host of Jeopardy is revealing a new setback in that fight.
We thought I was finished with chemo. That was a bit premature and certainly over-optimistic.
Trebek tells us his health recently took a turn.
You said there were two things you wanted to do this summer. You said you were going to try to get your strength back and try to grow your hair back. So how was the summer on those two fronts?
Dismal.
Really?
My hair started to grow back, but now I have to undergo chemo again. Occasionally it will cause excruciating pain in my lower back. Other times it's fatigue. Other times it's nausea. It varies. Cancer is mysterious in more ways than one.
Are you starting to think any differently about life and trying to make sure, oh, I always planned to do that. Maybe I should go ahead and get that in?
No. I don't think that way. I'm 79 years old. I've had one hell of a good life, and I've enjoyed it. And the thought of passing on doesn't frighten me.
And through it all, Trebek hasn't missed a day of work.
As long as I can walk out and greet the audience and the contestants and run the game, I'm happy.
Our thanks to TJ, and we are pulling for Alex every single day here. And when we come back here, the medical headline, a possible cure for the common cold. And here in New York City, more on those NYPD officers attacked when they answered the call.
Managing type 2 diabetes? Dimitri's on it. Eating right?
On it.
Getting those steps in?
On it.
Dimitri thinks he's doing all he can to manage his type 2 diabetes and heart disease, but is his treatment doing enough to lower his heart risk?
Sorry.
Maybe not. Jardiance is the #1 prescribed pill in its class. Jardiance can reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults who also have known heart disease. That means Jardiance can help save your life from a heart attack or stroke. Plus, Jardiance lowers A1C, and it can help you lose some weight.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Lower A1C and lower risk of a fatal heart attack?
On it. With Jardiance.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance, the type 2 diabetes pill that's on it. Learn more at Jardiance.com.
Let's be honest. Insurance can feel a little outdated with the paperwork and searching for ID cards. That's why Esurance makes it simple with an app, so you're not stuck in the 90s.
Whoa, that tiny TV is the bomb.
When insurance is simple, it's surprisingly painless.
After walking 6 miles at an amusement park, Bill's back needed a vacation from his vacation. So he stepped on the Dr. Scholl's kiosk. It recommends our best custom-fit orthotic to relieve foot, knee, or lower back pain, so you can move more. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
1 out of 6 vehicles have been recalled because of dangerous Takata airbags. One of them could be yours. Go to safeairbags.com to see if your vehicle is on the recall list. It could save your life.
To be their best, kids need good nutrition and practice. Lots of practice. Get them started right with Carnation Breakfast Essentials. It has protein plus vitamins and minerals to help kids be their best. Carnation Breakfast Essentials.
Okay, paint a picture for me.
This will be the kitchen.
And we'd like to put a fire pit out there and a dock with a boat, maybe.
Why haven't you started building?
Well, Tyler's off to college.
And Mom's getting older.
And eventually we would like to retire.
Yeah, it's a lot. But TD Ameritrade can help you build a plan for today and tomorrow.
Great. Can you help us pour the foundation, too?
Thanks. I think you want a house near the lake, not in it.
Come with a goal, leave with a plan. TD Ameritrade.
Sleep this amazing? That's a ZzzQuil Pure Z Sleep. Our liquid has a unique botanical blend, while an optimal melatonin level means no next-day grogginess. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep.
To the index in the deadly police shootout here in New York City, officers responding to a domestic call, the suspect opening fire. An officer shot in the wrist, a body cam image showing police struggling with the armed suspect. He was then shot and killed by police. The wounded officer is in stable condition. 2 grizzly bear attacks in Montana's Gravelly Mountains. 3 hunters were injured in separate attacks in the same area just hours apart. The victims are expected to recover. And a possible scientific breakthrough tonight, researchers at Stanford University and UCSF making a discovery discovery they hope leads to a cure for the common cold. They say disabling a single enzyme in cells may stop the virus from penetrating the cell and then spreading through the body. They say more study is needed. When we come back here, the interview we found Cokie Roberts in her own words tonight.
Ready?
Okay. Ready, sweetie?
Nice. You ready to go again?
Are you ready, Dad?
I'm ready.
Imagine if your life insurance could help you live for today and safeguard tomorrow, so you're ready for anything. Life insurance designed to protect generations of families. That's the power of Pacific. Ask a financial professional about Pacific Life.
Introducing infusions from Chicken of the Sea. Tuna infused with real herbs and spices. Packed with 20 grams of protein and good to go. Infusions, the fresh new taste in tuna.
I would get muscle cramps several times a week for decades. And in a few days of using TheraWorks Relief, the cramps are gone because it works.
Get TheraWorks Relief today in stores everywhere.
Smart news.
I was only watching news I agreed with.
I was only getting news from social media.
Now, I use Smart News. It has news that matters.
I trust Smart News. Download Smart News for free today.
This is Fracture. Just upload an image, place your order, and it'll show up at your door, beautifully printed directly on glass. And this isn't just another frame, not just another canvas. This is new. This is a Fracture. Visit FractureMe.com and print one today.
If you're 65 or older, even if you're healthy, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. In severe cases, pneumococcal pneumonia can put you in the hospital. It can hit quickly, without warning, making you miss out on what matters most. Just one dose of the Prevnar 13 vaccine can help protect you from pneumococcal pneumonia. It's not a yearly shot. Prevnar 13 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Don't get Prevnar 13 if you have had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most common side effects were pain, redness and swelling at the injection site, limited arm movement, fatigue, headache, muscle pain, joint pain, less appetite, vomiting, fever, chills, and rash. Ask about prevention. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 13.
I work hard and I want my money to work hard too. So I use my Freedom Unlimited card. Even when I'm spending, I'm earning 1.5% cash back on everything I buy. Earning on headphones. Earning. Still earning. Always earning.
I don't know where you're pointing.
Not that one, the big one. You can't sneak a good earning opportunity past me. In fact, I got a hand modeling gig that starts right now. Earn 1.5% cash back on everything you buy with Freedom Unlimited. Ooh, my hands look good. Chase, make more of what's yours.
A plane crashed on the beach. No survivors.
There's not a scratch on her.
Do you think I crashed that plane?
Emergence premieres next Tuesday on ABC.
Finally tonight, Cokie Roberts in her own words on mothers and daughters and how she would like to be remembered. Cokie Roberts was a reporter, a commentator, and historian. But above all, she was a mother and grandmother, a wife. And in that book, We Are Our Mother's Daughters, she wrote about why women have always inspired her.
Mothers are great inspirations to me as they pluckily push forward, insisting on enjoying life. They are an always present reminder of the grit and fortitude of the women who came before us.
She writes of the common thread.
I'm always struck by the similarity in women's stories, whether athletes or scientists, businesswomen or soldiers, politicians or mechanics, no matter how different they may superficially seem. That's because of the thread of continuity with women throughout the ages. Caretaking. That's the common thread that runs through these stories. No matter what else women are doing, we are also mothering, taking care of somebody or something, and for the most part, doing it joyously. I think we've been doing it awfully well for a very long time.
And the gifts that came later.
By far the best of all, I have become a grandmother. My excellent children and children-in-law have brought 6 fascinating, funny, cuddly creatures into the world. They are pure heaven.
And today, we found an interview done not so long ago when Koki was asked a simple question.
How would you like to be remembered?
I'd like to be remembered as a mother and a wife and friend of people that I love very, very much.
You know, when I sent out word today on Koki's passing, one viewer tweeted back to me saying of Koki, a child of New Orleans, today journalism and the nation lost an original New Orleans saint. So very true. Good night.
Now, your Big 2 forecast first with
Good evening, everybody. We've got a little bit of rain developing on the east coast, all the way in the Gulf Coast of Texas. A new tropical storm is forming, but it's leaving us alone here in West Texas. We actually have our own rain coming in from the west. I'll take a deeper dive into some of these showers and what to expect for the week ahead. Your Big 2 News at 6 starts right now.
Homes and cars are destroyed in a fire in Odessa tonight. What Odessa Fire Rescue says happened.
Also, an ECISD officer is charged with sexual assault of a child. We have the latest details.
And one Midland man making a big difference in the lives of the homeless, how he's giving them a helping hand. One mobile home, 3 RVs, 3 vehicles are destroyed after a fire breaks out today in Odessa. Good evening. I'm Katie Orth.
And I'm Eddie Flores. No one was home at the time of the fire and no one was hurt. This according to the Odessa Fire Department. Now, the fire was reported near Love Drive and Robin Avenue around 2 this afternoon. We don't know the cause of the fire yet, but Odessa Fire is reporting a downed power line in that area.
It took crews about 1 hour to put out the fire. Ector County Sheriff's Office is now taking over that investigation.
An ECISD officer admits to police he had a sexual relationship with a student.
According to an affidavit, David Franco was arrested for sexual assault of a child. Big 2's Jake Eichstead joins us now live from Wilson and Young Medal of Honor School in Odessa to break it down. Hi, Jake.
Hi, you guys. Good evening. I am live at that school right now where we can confirm that that ECISD officer was employed. Now, not many details have been released about this incident, but this is what we do know so far. David Franco, the man that you are seeing here, has indeed been charged with a sexual assault of a child, which is a second-degree felony. On September 14th, a parent reported a sexual relationship between her child and the ECISD officer after finding inappropriate text messages between the two on her cell phone. She confronted Franco, who affirmed he had a sexual relationship with the then 14-year-old and then later admitted it to police. Now, I've been out here today while parents have been picking up their students, and they have been furious with the ECISD reaction to this, or lack thereof, and the fact that they had to find out from news and not the school district. Take a listen to some of those reactions.
I just found out today. It makes me sick. We've had enough pain this past month without dealing with this. How could this happen?
We will have more updates for you on this situation tonight at 10. For now, reporting live in Odessa, Jake Eichstead, Big 2 News.
Wow, Jake, thank you. One Midland man and his team are making a big difference in our community. They're helping to remove the stigma of homelessness, one shower at a time.
Big 2's Jocelyn Person had the chance to speak with him and his team, and she joined us live from Midland to tell us all about it. Jocelyn?
Katie, Eddie, I'm at the spot where Carl Borowski and his team set up mobile showers for the homeless, and they all hope to make a change in the community. You see them on the streets alone or with their loved one trying to find a way to survive. Now, Carl Borowski and his partners began to help those in need by providing mobile showers in Midland. Borowski and his team want to help change the stigma of homelessness. Unfortunately, in today's society, many of them are often kicked out of restaurants because of their odor.
A homeless person was sitting in a restaurant
they wouldn't be sitting there. They'd get run off because they have a smell to them.
For the past 2 years, Borowski and his team have been providing food, but for the past 2 weeks, they took the extra step to provide mobile showers on Saturdays for the entire day.
What we're trying to do is, we've brought the shower where, we want to, take that factor out, where they could walk in somewhere and they could be clean, they could have clean clothes on.
Borowski and his team have been continuously building relationships with them and being someone who they can trust.
It feels really good to be able to give back. I mean, Jesus said that these people are our blessings, and it's our responsibility to take care of the poor.
Borowski and his team aim to provide for all of the people across West Texas and make a change in the community.
Continuously go out and be able to help not only homeless, but other issues that we see that, in our own backyard, that we can put manpower together and help with some of the issues that we have in our own community.
Carl and his team are also looking for volunteers. To find out how to contact them, go to yourbasin.com. Live in Midland, Jocelyn Person, Big 2 News.
Wow, making a big difference, Jocelyn. Thank you for that report. Today, West Texas family doctor Richard Bartlett formally announcing he's running for Mike Conaway's District 11 seat. The announcement made in the presidential archives. The issues Dr. Bartlett says he'll focus on are securing the border, fixing the healthcare system, and reducing national debt. Big 2 News attended the event and spoke with Dr. Bartlett.
All these things need to be addressed yesterday, and they haven't. And because they're an imminent threat, because it's a threat to my children's future, I am motivated to be a part of the solution instead of just standing by.
And he's got the right values and the right conviction, and I think he'll make a fantastic U.S. congressman.
Bartlett has served Odessa and Midland as a doctor for 30 years.
Midland's Rotary Club is giving you the chance to meet all the candidates that are running for mayor. A forum will be held starting at 6:30 Thursday night. There will be a question and answer portion for the public and the candidates, so you can stop by the Advanced Technology Center at Midland College and learn all about each candidate. Officials say some of the groundwater in Odessa is contaminated. It's groundwater outside city limits. It was found to be contaminated by an oil field company. Authorities say the contamination did not affect the city's water sources, though. Residents are encouraged to give their opinion at a public meeting. That'll be held at 7 Thursday night at the Salinas Park Community Center.
All-American Chevrolet doing what they can to help the victims of the deadly mass shooting. They're now accepting donations for the families of the victims. The car dealership will also be showing a sign of solidarity.
All the GMs of All-American and Lithia dealerships wanted to find a way to show our support for our community during these times. So we created this Midland Odessa 1 magnet. We'd love for you to come by and pick one up.
All proceeds from the magnets will go toward the victims. We are told there are plenty of magnets for everyone.
2 local restaurants are making it easier for you to get involved with the effort to help victims. Texas Roadhouse and Bubba's 33 have pledged to share 100% of profits from this coming Thursday with the Odessa Community Foundation. All 4 locations across Midland and Odessa are participating. Additional donations will also be accepted at the hostess stands. All you have to do is stop by Thursday night and have a good meal, all for a good cause.
The Odessa Police Department releasing a video today. They want to thank you for your support following the mass shooting.
The department came together to deliver this heartfelt thank you to you. Take a look.
I'm Corporal David Yelton.
I'm Sergeant David Latta with the Odessa Police Department, and the Odessa Police Department would like to extend our heartfelt condolences to all the victims and their families affected by this horrific tragedy, August 31st.
OPD would like to thank the community for their outpouring of love and support.
The Odessa Police Department and all first responders, community united.
Thank you, Odessa.
That's great. We thank them for what they do for us. Meanwhile, from social media tracking to gun sale changes, Texas lawmakers are exploring solutions in the wake of the deadly mass shootings in our state. Today's hearing largely focused on how law enforcement agencies gather and share information. Lawmakers also talked with the head of the Texas Department of Public Safety about how to balance protecting Texans with protecting privacy rights. This panel will meet in cities across the state, including El Paso, Odessa, Amarillo, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Houston, to get input from a wide range of Texans.
That urgency is not born out of hate or anger towards anyone or antagonism, but one of love. And if we focus on that and let that be our center, we can reach a consensus. We can make changes to make people safer. We can save lives, and that really should be our goal.
You know, things that aren't going to infringe on the Second Amendment, but common sense solutions that just make it more difficult for shooters to, commit crimes against people.
The committee has until December 4th to submit a preliminary report to the Speaker of the House. They'll ultimately recommend changes to state law. A similar committee on the Senate side will meet September 26th.
Odessa Police and Fire Rescue will take on Midland Police at a softball game. It's all for charity. The second annual Home Run Derby is set to take place this weekend. This year will be a doubleheader that will include a Home Run Derby and 2 softball games. Local first responders told us this year has a few surprises for people who come out.
We actually have a firefighter from the FDNY coming in for this event, and he is a 15-year firefighter veteran in New York, and he's also one of the softball pros, and he's an amazing ball player. He hits in several home run derbies across the country.
So you can stop by and catch the game at Security Bank Ballpark. The event kicks off at 6 o'clock Saturday night. Proceeds will go to benefit the police and fire associations in both cities.
In other news, today, the House Judiciary Committee holds its first impeachment investigation hearing.
President Trump's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, testified. Bree Jackson has our report.
You should be here to be telling the truth, because the truth will set you free.
Democrats clashed with President Trump's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, over his private conversations with President Trump.
How many times did he direct you to deliver a message to a member of his cabinet?
The White House has directed not disclose the substance of any discussions with the president.
House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler says Lewandowski's testimony is critical to determining whether the president obstructed justice.
We intend to secure accountability for any wrongdoing because no one is above the law, not even the President of the United States.
Democrats say the Trump administration is engaging in a cover-up by limiting what Corey Lewandowski can say. But Republicans say these impeachment hearings are a meaningless show.
You like having the press here, you like the cameras, because it makes it appear like something's happened that's not.
Georgia Congressman Doug Collins says the Democrats are grasping for reasons to impeach the president, but can't find the votes to move forward. And Ohio Republican Steve Chabot says the hearings are distracting Congress from more important issues.
We're spending our time on this fake impeachment, but we could be focused on something that really matters, like immigration.
But Democratic leaders say they plan to keep investigating until all their questions are answered. In Washington, Bree Jackson.
Still to come on Big 2 News at 6, Tropical Storm Imelda makes landfall in Texas.
What forecasters are predicting ahead of this storm. Next.
And here in West Texas, we've got a little bit of rain of our own, helping to keep our high temperatures a little bit cool in some places. Marfa at 86 degrees along with Guadalupe Pass. Alpine at 87, while Odessa Midland warms to a high at 93. I'll take a look at what to expect for the week ahead, but right now we do have some pretty clear skies overhead in Big Spring. A couple of clouds off in the distance and a few very small clouds right overhead. West Texas State Bank Sky Tracker on top of the historic Hotel Settles in Big Spring, giving us a great look at those nice blue skies. But I'll take a look at what to expect for the week ahead in terms of temperatures and rain chances after the break.
For your latest news, listen to Big 2 updates weekday mornings beginning at 6 on your all-time country favorites, Kicks 99.1.
Place your right hand over your heart and the other on a steak knife. A new lineup of American Roadhouse meals is here. That's 10 hearty meals for $8.99. Every day at Logan's, the real American Roadhouse.
No two people are built the same, so finding your ideal mattress can be hard. What's good for you may not be good for me. That's why you need choices, like the incredible selection of top brand mattresses at Rooms to Go. Sealy, Serta, Beauty Rest, Tempur-Pedic, and more. Try one, try them all. With our mattress professionals to guide you, finding your perfect mattress at a great low price is always easy. So check out Rooms to Go, the best place to go for your new mattress.
Here's your Buick, sir. Actually, that's my Buick.
How are we going to fit in your mom's Buick?
Easy.
I like that new Buick.
Me too.
I was actually talking about that Buick.
I knew that.
Did you?
Buick's fresh new lineup is full of surprises. Get over $4,200 below MSRP on this 2019 Buick Encore Preferred. Plus, well-qualified buyers get 3.8% APR financing for 72 months.
Visit your Permian Basin Buick dealer.
Honey, what was your favorite part of the weekend?
Wow. When can we come back?
This is a family like yours or mine, but happy only half the time.
You can't download while I'm uploading!
With slow speeds and dead spots and 18 remotes, the family needed Grande.
Kids, we're getting better internet.
And sure enough, Grande was a total dream. It was ultra-fast whole-home Wi-Fi that could support Angela's live stream.
With the new TiVo voice remote, all you have to do is press one button.
But this is no fairy tale. We have an offer for everyone. 600 meg internet plus 220 channels at a price second to none. Imagine better with Grande.
Big 2 News is on Amazon Alexa. Get your real news by real people today.
Every great American deserves a statue. And when you get a taste of our new slow-roasted prime rib, you just might want to stand and salute. Served with your choice of 2 sides. This is what weekends are made of at Logan's, the real American Roadhouse.
And now, your Big 2 local weather authority forecast. We warn you first with Chief Meteorologist Chase Menendez.
Well, good evening, everybody. We've got some nice blue skies overhead in Midland right now. A couple of nice cumulus clouds all the way up there. Pretty high up right now. Not going to give us any rainfall. They're just some light puffy clouds. Pretty cool to look at, though. Pretty nice scenery out there in the sky. West Texas State Bank Sky Tracker giving us a great look on top of Midland right now. And with all those blue skies, we've warmed up actually pretty substantially over what we saw yesterday. 95 degrees, our high temperature for today. A good couple degrees above average for this time of year and a good 30 degrees warmer than our lows from this morning. So it is a pretty warm day here for West Texas. Our lows actually coming in a little bit closer to average than our highs are, coincidentally. That's just because we're beginning to dry out across the basin. And we've also got some pretty modest wind speeds. Now, these winds are still coming in out of the south and east, still pulling in moisture. It's just that our wind speeds are not that high anymore, so it's not pulling in that moisture as efficiently. We've got wind speeds in the single digits just about everywhere across the basin and almost everywhere in the Trans-Pecos. But as we head on into Wednesday morning, notice these numbers really back off a little bit more, and they stay down into the single digits even as we get into the afternoon time. Now, it's not until about Thursday that we finally start to see these winds picking back up, coming in out of the due east once we get on into Thursday evening. 12 miles per hour for Midland, Odessa, barely into the double digits, but it is an increase, it is a change to some of those wind speeds. So get ready for a nice mild day again for tomorrow. Get ready for another nice mild day even on Thursday, but it's going to be slightly breezier. 95 degrees will be our temperature by 4 p.m., so we'll warm up a little bit more than what we saw today. High temperatures just a tiny bit warmer than that 95-degree mark at 4 p.m. We'll reach up to about 96. And notice our lows pretty similar to what we saw this morning as well. So we've got some nice consistent weather patterns here for the next couple of days. A slight warming trend in play for now, but we've also got a little bit of rain developing in some of our higher elevations. A little energy coming in from the west, while off to the east, we've got a new tropical storm, Imelda, just making landfall in Houston. Got a very, very good rotational pattern to it, showing off a very tight organization, but not a very strong storm at all. Wind speeds right around 40 miles per hour. And in fact, here in West Texas, we gust higher than that 40 mile per hour mark pretty regularly. Now, we're not seeing any of those strong winds right now. We've got a little bit of light rain happening across some of the higher elevations. Actually, doing a good job of outlining some of the mountain ranges that we have just off to our west. The Van Horn Mountains showing up. Carlsbad looking pretty rainy right now. As that air gets forced over those mountains, that uplift causes rain chances. Anytime we have rising air with a lot of humidity, that's going to turn into showers or possibly even thunderstorms, depending on how fast that air moves upwards. Mountains can do that to you, and heat can do that to you, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. We've got a lot of mountainous terrain out that way, and not as much mountainous terrain here across the basin, so that's why we're not looking at any rainfall right now for Midland and Odessa. But south of I-10, the Marfa Plateau, looking a little bit rainy as well. We've just got some very, very light showers out that way, and I don't expect them to last too long or give us any flooding concerns or anything like that. But as we head on into tomorrow, we do have another nice day coming through. A little bit warm, but nice and mild as far as those wind speeds go, and unfortunately, rain chances are staying away from the basin. Notice where that rain is setting up, though, right now at some of the higher elevations, and as we head into the evening time, most of that rain begins to die down. We'll actually wake up to some pretty sunny skies, at least in the morning time, before some clouds begin to pop up and that rain shifts a little bit further to the east. This model showing some of that moving into Ector and Midland counties, but I've got to say, I think our rain chances here in Odessa Midland are not very high, at least until we get to the weekend. And once we do get to the weekend, we'll see our rain chances really jump up dramatically. Good chances Friday evening into Saturday morning, and then a good 60% chance on Saturday afternoon, as well as a 30% chance on Sunday afternoon. Now, until we get there, tomorrow actually kind of hot, 96 degrees, and then we cool down to 93 Thursday, down to the 80s by Saturday, thanks to some of that rain. So that's pretty hard to complain about those temperatures in the low 90s.
Yeah, but it's not quite fall just yet.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, Chase, thank you.
Rain is on the way.
That's right.
And Chase, as you mentioned, Tropical Storm Imelda has now made landfall in Texas. The storm formed around noon, roughly 15 miles south of Freeport in the Gulf of Mexico. The main threat for the storm will be extremely heavy rain, leading to extensive street flooding and possibly creek and bayou flooding if it lasts into Thursday.
The latest forecast calls for 4 to 10 inches of rain with isolated spots over 15 inches. The first wave of heavy rain may impact Houston tomorrow morning. Several more waves of rain could hit the area before the storm finally lifts north late Thursday. I have family in Houston. They say it's been pouring rain today. So
yeah, these guys are having a good time, though.
Yeah, they sure are. All right, hi, Ben. We're going to talk some sports. Odessa High, another Thursday night game this week.
Absolutely, and they play on Saturday next week, so they're avoiding Friday for everything they can do.
This Thursday, that's an away game, and that's an away game. Yeah. This is in El Paso.
Yeah, last time up in Lubbock, not too far, but this one, as you mentioned, going to El Paso. And coming up next in your Big Two Sports, we'll tell you what the Broncos will try to do to get back to 500 and improve to 2-2 against El Paso Montwood.
Prices are falling at Ashley Home Store. Fall sale is here. Beautiful 3-piece Bavarian sectional, now only $798. Main and Mason reclaimed pine wood 5-piece dining room set, now $798 for a limited time only. Hurry in. Prices are falling at your Ashley Home Store.
People ask me all the time, did you really get all your clients all those great settlements? And the answer is yes. And you know what else is true? I really am on this truck.
Call 580-5421.
It's Spa Getaway Week, so sit back, relax, and try to solve this puzzle.
Breathe in, breathe out.
That's it. No two people are built the same, so finding your ideal mattress can be hard. What's good for you may not be good for me. That's why you need choices, like the incredible selection of top brand mattresses at Rooms to Go. Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, Tempur-Pedic, and more. Try one, try them all. With our mattress professionals to guide you, finding your perfect mattress at a great low price is always easy. So check out Rooms to Go, the best place to go for your new mattress.
Last year's #1 new comedy and a breakout hit make for one down and dirty hour of fun.
It's a win.
The Connors are expecting a new arrival.
Another Connor in the world. What we don't have in quality, we make up in volume.
And Bless This Mess finds a new home.
My husband and I are quitting our jobs, and we're moving to a farm.
This one likes to lick, and it's freaking me out.
Strap in for an hour of comedy premieres next Tuesday.
You ready?
Oh, yeah, girl. On ABC.
first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
Get 18% below MSRP on the Sierra SLE Crew Cab with a traditional tailgate. That's nearly $9,100 on this next generation Sierra. Plus, current eligible GM owners get over $1,000 additional purchase allowance. Visit your Permian Basin GMC dealer.
Prices are falling at Ashley Home Store. Fall sale is here. Beautiful 3-piece Bavarian sectional, now only $798. Main and Mason reclaimed pine wood 5-piece dining room set, now $798 for a limited time only. Hurry in. Prices are falling at your Ashley Home Store.
Coming up on Big 2. And now, your Big 2 Sports with Sports Director Ben Peck.
Well, Odessa High making a bit of a habit out of having an unorthodox schedule. They played last Thursday, the Broncos did. They're once again taking the field this Thursday. And next week, they'll be playing on a Saturday. You're supposed to play on Friday nights, isn't that the whole thing? First things first, though, Broncos trying to learn from a 44-27 defeat in Lubbock against Coronado. The Mustangs benefiting from some Odessa High mistakes in that contest. This week, a chance for OHS to get back to 500. They'll be taking on Montwood in El Paso.
They're going to play hard, and that's the thing that I admire about them. They play hard. They don't quit, and you're going to have to go take a ball game from them if you're going to beat them because their kids are just resilient.